What's up everyone, this is Pooka, and welcome to another video featuring a new deck from the Pokemon TCG. Now this is a deck that had some surprise finishes at the first week of state championships, so I figured I'd go ahead and take a crack at building it, and we're going to take a look at the general strategy, how it works, and what it's meant to do. So at first glance, this is a very, probably an old archetype by now, revolving around three cards that have been working together for a while. First one is Landorus EX, big 180 HP fighting Pokemon. For one fighting, it has Hammerhead, 30 and 30 to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Very efficient attack for 1 energy. And then we have Land's Judgment, 80 plus 70 more if you discard all fighting energy attached to Landorus EX. So, two very strong attacks. Fighting has been a good type for a very long time. So Landorus EX is a very simple Pokemon that we can play in this deck. The next one is one that should be familiar to pretty much everybody. Mewtwo EX. We only use it for its 1 attack, X Ball, 20 damage times the number of energy attached to this Pokemon and the defending Pokemon. So nowadays it's a weaker version of Yveltal's Evil Ball, but we can use double colorless energy to just power it up in 1 attachment, so we use Mewtwo. We don't need Darkness Energy. Otherwise, if we play Darkness Energy, we might use Yveltal instead, but Mewtwo is the way to go, since we don't. The third card of this trifecta here is Garbodor. Garbotoxin shuts off a lot of the popular decks, a lot of the popular abilities, like Blastoise, Emboar. Team Plasma decks use Deoxys EX's Power Connect. Virizion EX is a big one to shut off. Even Genesect EX's Red Signal is important to shut off. Every deck pretty much has abilities, except for the ones that play Garbodor. So we use Garbotoxin to shut down those things and try to get an advantage that way. Now this was a very simple concept that's been used for a long time, but Yveltal EX does give this deck a hard time. So we added a new player into the mix, and that is Raichu. Now Raichu doesn't seem very intimidating, but it has the all-important lightning type. Yveltal EX is by far one of the most popular Pokemon coming out of the new set. It's been featured in lots of winning decks already, and we can hit it for weakness with Circle Circuit. It does 20 damage times the number of your bench Pokemon. So for 2 energy, you can do 100 damage with a full bench. And against Yveltal EX, that's 200 damage. So perfect. We can also use other ways to get Circle Circuit to do enough damage, even if we don't have a full bench, which we'll get to those in a second. But those are the Pokemon for the deck. This is going to be a very simple deck overall, but very powerful nonetheless. Our other supporting cards here, we do need tools for Garbodor. So we have 3 Float Stone. This is the one you want to attach to Garbodor the most. Gives it a free retreat cost. Pretty good. And then we have 3 Muscle Band as well. All of your attacks do 20 more damage for the Pokemon that this is attached to. So this makes Landorus EX a lot stronger, makes Mewtwo EX a lot stronger, and even Raichu can start to hit some pretty big numbers once you have Muscle Band. I would say this is the most beneficial on Landorus EX. Now Hammerhead can do 50 to an active and then 30 to a bench Pokemon. And sheesh, that's just 1 energy, you're doing 80 total damage. That's pretty darn good. Now, to add more damage to our attacks, we're going to run 4 Hypnotoxic Laser, poisons the opponent. If you flip heads, also puts them to sleep. And then we combine that with a Verbank, City Gym, makes that poison do 30 between turns instead of the normal 10. So we can start getting our attacks much stronger, much quicker when we have this stuff. Alright, so then we have some more item cards that are pretty simple. We need some ways to search out our Pokemon, so we're going to run 3 Ultra Ball, discard 2 cards, search for any Pokemon. Then we have some specific targets. Level Ball, search for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less. This can get Pikachu, Raichu, or Trubbish. So we do want Level Ball in this deck. And Heavy Ball, search for a Pokemon with a retreat cost of 3 or more. And that can get us Landorus EX or Garbodor. And it's nice to just have that option to just search for those straight away without having to discard any cards. Then we have 1 Professor's Letter. It's just a nice item card to have. Search for 2 basic energy cards, put them into your hand, And then we just have a couple switching cards. One switch. This might be the simplest card in the game. Switch. Switch your active with a bench Pokemon. And then an escape rope as well. Each player switches their active Pokemon. For our A spec for the deck, we have a Dowsing Machine. Discard 2 cards, and then get back a trainer card from your discard pile. And then our supporters are very straightforward as well. For Professor Juniper, for N, and we also have 3 Skyla. This is the reason why we play those single copies of cards like Heavy Ball, Level Ball, Switch, Professor's Letter, Escape Rope. Skyla allows us to search for those. It's a very powerful card since the deck is so simple. And 3 Colress as well to draw big numbers of cards. And for the energy, we just have 7 Fighting and 4 double colorless energy. We may want a Super Rod or something like that so we can shuffle in some energy, but this is a very basic and straightforward list, so that's what we're going to run with for now. You can definitely make some adjustments to the deck, but the concept itself is pretty darn powerful. So let's take a look at a game that I played with the deck, see it in action, and see how it manages to work. So it looks like I'm going to go ahead and go first with a Pikachu. Unfortunately, my hand is not the greatest here. We do see a Trubbish and an Yveltal EX on the bench, so this is a little scary, but we'll see if we can work with it. I'm going to go ahead and Ultra Ball away my Garbodor. I see that right away. My opponent is running Garbodor, so I'm not even going to bother going for mine. I need a card to discard for Ultra Ball. That's my first one. And we'll get rid of a Float Stone as well. And we'll go ahead and search for a Landorus EX, mainly because my hand is pretty weak, so I want the biggest Pokemon that takes the least amount of energy to survive for the longest amount of time against Yveltal EX. I think it makes sense. We see a laser and all sorts of stuff happen. Crushing Hammer, Crushing Hammer, Crushing Hammer. Wow, we got lucky there. 3 tails on the Crushing Hammers. Wow, those just came out lightning fast. So we see an energy on the Yveltal EX. I'm going to go ahead and retreat the Pikachu with the Float Stone. We'll drop the double colorless down. And I could play the laser there, but I'm going to save it for when the Yveltal EX comes out. And we'll Hammerhead for 30 and 30. My opponent is playing blazing fast here. Sheesh. We've seen an Enhanced Hammer, a Skyla, an Energy, and there is an Evil Ball. Alright, so we got a Hypnotoxic Laser, and I'm fortunate enough to finally top deck a supporter. We got the N. And alright, we'll go ahead and drop down Landorus and Mewtwo, and we can evolve into Raichu as well. A switch there would have been sweet, but hey, we can't get too greedy, I suppose. And I'm going to go ahead and Hammerhead, 10 to the active and 30 to the bench Trubbish. We got another Enhanced Hammer, sheesh. Lasers going all around. Fortunately, the active does stay asleep. There is a Crushing Hammer. Gosh, all sorts of hammers and nonsense and stuff. And we got lots of random receivers. And what is going on here? Is that a 3rd random receiver? My opponent's playing cards so fast I can't even see what's happening. Oh, alright. So, now I was fortunate that the Yveltal EX did stay asleep. That way my Landorus didn't get knocked out. But now I'm in a Skyla here, and I was going for Professor's Letter, but it looks like it's prized. I should have checked for that sooner, but whoops. That is my mistake. Now I gotta decide what to go for. I might just grab a Level Ball and retreat to a Trubbish and just kind of sacrifice it. I mean, what the heck. Why not? I need to buy myself a turn at this point. That Yveltal is poison, so if I just leave something active, that's fine. At least we'll accrue some poison damage there. And we'll go ahead and retreat into the Trubbish. I could Ultra Ball for something, but I think I want to save cards in my hand so I can Dowsing Machine next turn and grab the N and draw some cards. Now that Life Dew is going to be particularly annoying because I don't play Tool Scrapper. So that's actually very annoying. That's something I'm not looking forward to here. But we'll see how that ends up playing out here. I do get hit by another laser, and then we see the Junk Hunt for a couple more hammers, so that's pretty annoying. Here I'm going to bench the Pikachu, and we will Dowsing Machine for an N. And hope to draw some good stuff. And looks like we got some decent stuff. We got at least a Garbodor I can evolve if I want to buy some more time. We could Escape Rope. And I think I might just escape rope to see what my opponent's going to send out. Seems like the right thing to do. Maybe he'll send out something I could knock out. That would be an awesome way to get a free prize here. So I think we're going to play the escape rope here. This is a very fast-paced game. Going to play the escape rope, see what comes out, and the Garbodor comes out. So that means I can hammerhead it for a knockout. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that. You know, I just want to get some hammerheads in here. We want to start picking off some Pokemon. And, yep, with that Muscle Band, we can do 50 and then 30 to the Yveltal EX. And it has 10 HP left. We'll only get one prize for it, but hey, that's one prize closer to victory. That Life Dew certainly being annoying, but hey, that's just something we got to deal with. I might want to add a Tool Scrapper after this. Alright, so we see a Team Flare Grunt. So this deck is designed to be as annoying as possible. And there is another Crushing Hammer and another Laser coming back. I could Skyla here, but I think I might just Juniper and go for the Muscle Band and the Laser. Get a little greedy here, see what we can do. And alright, looks like it paid off. Got the Muscle Band, got the Laser, and that means we can Hammerhead and knock out the Sableye and also knock out the benched Yveltal EX at the same time. We're just trying to put on as much pressure as possible so that my opponent kind of doesn't have time to keep junk hunting stuff back. That's kind of the idea here. We just want to have it so he doesn't have time to junk hunt every turn for Crushing Hammer and Life Dew or whatever. If we can keep taking knockouts every turn on those Sableyes, eventually we'll come out ahead. So I'm just going to go ahead and Colress here. We'll just accept the fact that Landorus is probably going down soon. We'll just Hammerhead. I could have attached to Raichu there, but I feel like I could probably draw a double colorless soon. And, oh, hey, speak of the devil, there is the double colorless energy. We're going to go ahead and switch into the Raichu. And Raichu hit him with a Circle Circuit. That's 200. Say that 5 times fast. Circle Circuit, Circuit, Circle Circuit, Circle Circuit, Circle Circuit. I can't do it. There is, looks like my opponent has run out of steam. And that one-hit knockout on the Yveltal EX was the key to finishing off this game. And we're going to Hammerhead with another Laser, take down another Sableye. And what a crazy game that was. Everything went by so quickly, but that was a very crazy, fast-paced, back-and-forth game. I definitely, even though the game was a 6-0 win for me, it was closer than it looks. You know, any of those Crushing Hammers could have made a big difference. And look at how much, there's a bunch of damage on my Pokemon, so you never know what's going to happen. But that is this Landorus, Mewtwo, Raichu, Garbodor deck. I don't really have a name for it, so I'm just going to say all the attackers and what's in it. So yeah, that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will certainly have some more videos for you soon. This is Pooka from the Top Cut, and I will see you guys next time.